Can you overdose on protein powder? Sorry mom, please skip this video. And yeah, I know, there's a lot of stigma today about powdered food. Around probably thinks this is some sketchy, artificial, highly processed powder made in China by some rich ass prick who is trying to make cash off of you and splash some cancer on young people's lives. But are their doubts valid? Let's break down how much protein is too much, is protein powder even healthy, and what protein sources you should consider. Firstly, let me illustrate how much protein is too much. This cup is gonna represent an 80-kilogram person, which is pretty standard. This is you in the morning when you wake up. You still didn't eat shit. This is gonna represent the protein. Now, you wake up and you consume your first breakfast, some eggs, cheese, bacon, or ham, whatever you would like. And that's gonna be around 40 G's of protein. And I know most of you snowflakes still eat cereals, but let's assume that you know some stuff about nutrition. You start your day with the eggs, which is hyper meal, which is gonna give you a lot of fullness in your stomach, and also it's gonna provide you with a lot of amino acids and Now, next one is gonna be snack one. Let's say you go to school, you go to work, and you have some cup, like handful of almonds. That's gonna represent 20 more G's of protein. So we're now here. And this is where we come to the point of 60 grams, which is just enough for you to survive, but you're not gonna really gain some muscle or anything else. Now is the lunch, and here is your biggest meal of the day. This is gonna be some chicken, rice, and broccoli. Gonna go full bodybuilder mode. So this is gonna be around 60 G's of protein. Now you're at a point which is like 1.5 from your body weight, which is 120. This is, according to most of the studies, enough for you to build muscle and gain strength. However, let's go push it to the upper limit. The next one is snack two, which is gonna be some skyr or Greek yogurt or cottage cheese, and there's gonna be additional 20 grams. And as ever, Joe, you have 5 meals in a day. You're gonna go for the last one, which is gonna be your dinner. It's gonna be 40 grams because you're gonna eat some salmon on the toast. And then you're gonna go to the upper limit, as you can see here. This is even overshooting it a bit, but in some cases it can work. Everything above this, let's say you eat one more protein bar, it's gonna spill over. It's not gonna have any significant effect on you gaining muscle or strength or whatever the fuck you want. Now, it's important to remember that we're all different. Somebody who is maybe heavier or lighter, and we have different needs of how much protein we actually should eat. So always multiply your weight by 1.5 on the lower limit or 2 on the upper limit, and that's how you're gonna get your protein goal intake. However, if you're overweight, then don't just do that because it's gonna be pretty high number. Instead, you should calculate from your lean mass. What is your lean mass? It's just your weight minus your body fat percentage. What's your body fat percentage? Just look at some pictures on the Google and you'll find where you kind of. If you're overweight, probably it's gonna be around 20+%. I mean, even more, 25+%. One more thing, if you're cutting, I'll recommend you highly to shoot for upper limit because it's gonna keep you more full, and also it's gonna prevent some muscle loss because you're already taking less calories and losing weight. Now, if you're on the other side and you're bulking, then consider actually taking less protein because you're gonna be less full, which means you're gonna be able to consume more other macronutrients, and also it's gonna make your bulk cheaper. If you're a logical person like me, you can see that this full day of eating is gonna cost you a lot of money and a lot of time. And here's where protein powder comes in really handy because it is convenient and versatile. You can drink it as a shake, you can put it in a smoothie or in oatmeal, or you can make some fancy recipe if your life is that boring. Just kidding, I don't have anything against these fancy recipes you see online. I'm just lazy, impatient fucking cunt.
Just because it's powder doesn't make it bad. There are a few common concerns people have when it comes to protein powder.
Fuck your protein powder.
Number one, people think it's some kind of steroid, but I love to disappoint you, it is not. Protein alone won't magically make you a fucking Hulk. It's just one of the protein sources like chicken or eggs. Is the quality of the source the same? We'll come back to that later. Also, you don't need to consume protein 30 minutes after your training to look anabolic like Simeon Panda or fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger. Number two, protein powder causes kidney damage. Straight up bullshit. Of course, if you had some kidney problems before, then you should probably consider monitoring your protein intake and listen to your doctor. However, there is no there is no conclusive evidence showing that protein powder causes kidney damage in healthy individuals. So it's a garbage myth. Throw it out of the fucking window. I said throw it out the window. Don't believe us? Here's what Mike Israetel, the sports scientist, has to say.
If you have healthy kidneys, which you would know by just going to the doctor once a year, getting a regular checkup, there is actually no realistic amount of protein that you could eat that is unhealthy. You could make almost your entire diet protein for weeks on end. And yes, they have tried that in the laboratory. And it doesn't strain the kidneys. Almost everyone, 99.9% of people, have perfectly normal kidneys, and they can eat as much protein as they want. Does that mean you have to eat a ton of protein? No.
Number 3, protein powder contains harmful sweeteners. If you're worried about sweeteners that are found in these powders, such as aspartame or sucralose, chill out. We will not go in depth about sweeteners in this video. Just pause this video for a moment and take a look at this example to see how aspartame is actually broken down in your body. Number 4, protein powder causes acne. Even though there were a few cases reported, however, there is no strong scientific evidence supporting direct link between protein powder and acne. Bear in mind, there are other many factors that may influence acne, such as genetics, oily skin, humid environment, poor sleep, obesity, sugary food, improper cosmetic use, and so on. Well, after all of that, would it be fair to put all the blame on protein powder? Because I don't know, you tell me in the comments. But is protein powder a quality source of protein? So, according to according to PDCAAS protein source ranking, the whey holds a top rank and is even higher than chicken. PDCAAS stands for Protein Digestibility Corrected Amino Acid Score, which is a measure used to evaluate the quality of protein by considering its amino acid composition and digestibility. If you want to know more about it, check the video from a guy named Igor. He did a great job breaking down best and worst protein sources. Link is in the description. You know this joke when a guy went to take a COVID test, an IQ test, and he came back and was so confused and he said, for some reason, I got a positive IQ test and 50 on my COVID test. What is wrong? Coming back to a protein table, the PDCAAS score does not tell the whole truth. Let's take a look at the example with milk and whey. Even though the score says that they're on the same level of ranking, the nutrients tell the different story. For example, milk has way less protein in terms of percentage than whey. And for all of you dummies who still don't understand, here's a simplified example. I did all the math for you, so let's try to imagine that you need to get a standard dose of 30 grams of protein. Here are 2 ways you can go. You can go with milk. You need to consume 1 liter of milk and you will get 630 calories with it. On the other hand, if you go with whey, you only need 1 scoop to get the same amount of protein, which is 30 grams. It's only 180 calories. So the difference is huge. So it really matters how protein dense the source is, and it's gonna really depend on your goals. If you're bulking, then there are certain protein sources that are probably better because they're caloric dense, but if you're cutting, then it's also gonna kill your cut and make it worse. If you're bulking, then of course this option looks kind of better because it's just more calories in it, but try to imagine drinking 1 liter of milk at once. It's probably gonna create some sort of a fucking party inside your stomach. When it comes to price, it's way more expensive to buy 1 liter of milk than take 1 scoop of protein. Also, even though the prices for protein powder recent year have gone up, chicken is still more expensive than protein powder, considering how much protein it has per $1 or euro. So far, it sounds like protein is superior and the best protein source choice you can possibly make. However, when consuming protein powder only, you don't get essential vitamins, minerals, fiber, healthy fats like omega-3, antioxidants, and more.
But which protein powder should you buy? So if we look at all of the options possible, it's gonna get into 3 basic options. First one is gonna be casein. No, it's not like casein. Casein. Let's see what this bitch has to say.
Casein protein.
Yes, casein. Whey is the second one. And the last one is for you snowflakes. Plant-based protein. I'm not gonna talk much about this, just so that you know, so you can click off. Casein is slow digestive protein. It takes around 6 to 8 hours to process it through your organs and stomach and to basically shit it out. While on the other hand, whey protein is fast digestive protein. It takes around 1 to 2 hours to digest it. I personally hate this fucking casein because it has such a weird taste and texture. I wouldn't wish even to him. However, there is one kind of good thing. If you're cutting, this is gonna keep you more full. You're gonna really struggle to eat a full meal of casein, let's say smoothie or something like that. So that's the only plus I can see there. If you like it, go for it. If you're not, there is the other option. Whey is basically split up into 3 options. First one is concentrate, which we covered beforehand. Second one is isolate, which has a bit more protein in it. And hydrolyzed is the purest form of protein powder out there. However, it's really expensive. I would recommend to most of the people to go with concentrate. You're gonna get still large amount of proteins and also it will be much cheaper. However, if you can't handle the lactose, then go for isolate. It's not gonna bother your stomach because it has eliminated all of the fats from it. That's the option. Also, if you're a bodybuilder or some freak, probably this is really important to you, but in most cases, this is irrelevant. Hydrolyzed, if you're a son of Rockefeller, then buy it. If not, just don't buy it. It's way too fucking expensive and there is no sense. When we look at plant-based options, there is really just one possible solution, which is soy. But before I tell you about soy, other considerations are peas, rice, hemp, which tastes disgustingly. Just don't bother with them. They're not really positioned high on the ranking that we mentioned before. So soy is the clear winner. It does have the highest protein efficiency and also it tastes kind of okay, which is a rare thing in plant-based proteins. And all of these things about soy boy that is gonna make you feminine, it is not really concluded in the research. I don't know where it came from, but don't bother with it. So basically any of these protein options are a good source to buy, but please still make sure to include chicken, eggs and all of these other protein sources because this is where you get your all minerals and vitamins and stuff.
Which leads us to the last point. Your hyper fat, hairy, lazy ass that needs to be taken to the gym like a dog on the leash. And that's why we created a training program that will give you all the information you need and also it will be shaped according to your goals and lifestyle once you fill out the form below. It's completely free.
All in all, don't worry about the harm from protein powders. What you should be really worried about is your undisciplined butt cheeks that want to get six-pack in under 10 minutes. Watch this video up here to get your hopes destroyed and show you why this shit doesn't work.